Earlier this year, I had an opportunity to visit a good friend of mine, Father Mike, who was down in Guatemala, running one of our Franciscan orphanages there. And we had a free day. And so Father Mike said, how would you like to go snorkeling? I'd never done that before. So I said, yeah, snorkeling was good. But snorkeling is something I should have started when I was your age. When I was young and fearless and stupid. Not now that I'm old and cautious and still stupid. Because at my age, all kinds of things go through your mind. You know, crazy concerns like, living, breathing. And, can those tubes really work? Can you really breathe through a tube? How long can I tread water? Maybe cramps, sharks, manatees, jellyfish, pirates, tidal waves, I don't know. I just worried about it all, but I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever the snorkeling for us there. So he takes me to this boat, very sketchy boat, and we get on this boat, and there's a couple of guys manning the boat, and they're both tall and thin, and they have this all gold teeth, and they're smiling the whole time. I'm like, these guys are pirates. Definitely pirates from the back. There was a smaller group of scuba people, and then a group of us snorkelers, okay, and one guy's driving the boat, the other one's coming over and giving instructions, and I was jealous of the scuba people because they had like a whole hour of instruction. They had like a whole class on how to scuba. We didn't get anything. So the guy comes over, he's got limited English, and it's time for the scuba people to jump in first, and he says to them, remember, up slowly or head explodes. I don't know if that was a language problem, but I felt better about my choice to go snorkeling at that moment. So the scuba people go in, and I'm like, hope we'll see that again. And then he turns to us, and we have masks and snorkels, and I'm thinking, okay, now is the time. Now we're going to get our safety instructions, what to do in case of emergency. And instead he says, put this on. And I'm like, okay, jumping. I'm like, anything else? Look at fish. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, that's it. So I do that, I put it on, I jump in, and the boat starts going away, and I'm like, oh no. But before I can look at the fish, I start to panic. I start to get freaking out. I'm trying to tread water. I'm sticking too far deep in my mouth. I'm choking myself. And I'm like in this little panic, and I'm expecting everybody around me to be equally panicking. What are we doing? And I look around. Everybody's peaceful. They're all doing this like dead man's float. I'm like, oh wow. So I decided to say a prayer. Brilliant idea. And I'm just, okay, Lord, you gotta take it away from me. Help me to breathe, help me to relax. And it turns out you float a lot better when you're relaxed. And breathe a lot better when you're relaxed. It helped. I said a little prayer and then just dove in. I just put my head down, the mask on. And it was actually a lot easier to float than I thought, which was kind of good news. So it was kind of easy. I was floating around. And once I stopped being afraid, there was a whole world down there that was really beautiful. It was really cool to see, just the brilliance of God's creation. I'm thinking, God created so many details down in the depths of the sea, where no one else even goes. And, just reflecting on the creativity of God as I'm looking at the caverns and the coral and the different color fish going by. It really was amazing. I think I saw a puffer fish. He's my favorite. You know what puffer fish is? Really cool. They look kind of calm, and then when they're threatened, bang, all these spikes come out, of their heads and their bodies, Kind of reminds me of Bob Lesney's beard. Yeah, if you've noticed, when Bob is threatened or wants a little more menacing, his beard's out, he doesn't want anyone in his office, and you go and you're like, you shriek in horror. Some people take that beard with holy water to try to get it to subdue, but it doesn't work. You just have to run through court and see Bob like that, so we hope. But the point of this mostly true story is is be not afraid. Really, when I jumped in the water, it wasn't the water that was going to kill me. And it wasn't the fish in the water. It was my fear that really threatened to kill me. At least take away my enjoyment of the experience, maybe even threaten my life. Really, it wasn't the water. It wasn't the ocean. It was fear. It was panic. It was worry. And how often do we let that happen to us? Let fear take us away from something amazing. Like maybe even our vocations, huh? Whenever the Lord gives someone a vocation in the scriptures, it always starts with be not afraid. It always starts with the call, be not afraid. We heard it today. St. Joseph is being called to be the foster father of God's Son. Be not afraid. A couple of weeks earlier, Mary heard the same thing. Be not afraid. To raise God's Son, be not afraid. I'm sure there were an ocean of concerns surrounding me raising God's Son. You see what I did there, right? But that's not to paralyze them, but to just enjoy those concerns, enjoy the opportunities that comes with your vocation to raise God's Son. And fear could have stopped the whole process, right? And it could for us as well. What are we afraid of? When God calls us to something, we're afraid, there's going to be pain involved. Maybe. Well, yeah, of course there will. And we're following someone who went to a cross. But we shouldn't be afraid of the pain or the suffering involved in our vocations because they're necessary. And as St. Paul tells the Romans and us today, God makes everything work out for the good for those who love Him. Everything. If you love God, even the pain and the suffering involved in your vocation will work out for the good. God makes all things work out for the good for those who love Him. So we see it in the Blessed Virgin Mary. We celebrate her birthday today. Right? We see that this woman had to suffer, of course. To embrace this vocation meant lots of pain. It meant that she would be at the foot of the cross with her own heart ripped open in pain and in compassion for her Son. And you know what God does with that? He uses that. He turns that opening in her heart to a doorway for us to enter in. She's changed at the foot of the cross to become the mother of us all. That very pain makes her who she is. God can use anything and everything. And He uses the wound in Mary's heart to make her the mother of us all. So be not afraid. Good thing Mary was not afraid. Joseph was not afraid of the trials that came with their vocations. So how do we find ourselves today? We might feel like we're on the edge of a boat, looking out into a vast ocean, and kind of afraid to jump in. Maybe the beginning of a semester feels like that. Feels like there's just this vast sea in front of me of studies and ministry and extracurricular activities and households and people to love. And we look out and there's just this sea in front of us and we think, I can't jump in. I can't do it. I'm too afraid. And God is saying to us, be not afraid. Jump in. We do have to look, especially at the beginning of the year. Overcommitting is kind of a problem here. We don't want to be overcommitted. We need to look at our schedules and do a good, honest assessment of what God is calling us to and say no to some things. But once you've done that, once it's settled, once you know what's in front of you, dive in. Don't stand back. Don't wish for the ocean to change, right? Sometimes households get the short end of the stick because we start to panic and think there's too much on my plate. I can't possibly be present to the people in the household. That was for years ago. Ooh, that's not good. We're called to love the people in our households every day. Whether you're a sophomore, junior, senior, super senior, God still wants to use the people in your household to to love you, and to bring you into more growth. And we can check out. We can get too afraid. We can say, household is too much, it's too big, I don't know anybody, there's new people. Well, dive right in there and meet the new people. Get right in there. That's part of your vocation and your call right now. God has put people in your life to love you. And people that He needs you to love. So we don't pray for an ocean to turn into a little pond, or for a household to get smaller so I can manage the number of people in it. We don't pray for the ocean to be devoid of fish because they're scary. That would make snorkeling very boring. There were no fish down there. Instead, we pray for the grace to conquer our fears, to jump right in there to what God has before us: studies, household, love, ministry, friends. And be not afraid. Ask Mary to come forward. When you jump right into what is before you, ask Mary to hold you up. Ask her to keep you afloat and help you not only to just survive, but even to look around and enjoy the beauty that's all around you. And God be with you.